My husband warned me to never join a grief support group if anything happened to him. I asked him why, and he wouldn't tell me, just made me promise. 8 months after he died from a sudden heart attack, I broke that promise and walked into a meeting at a community center downtown. The grief counselor was a soft-spoken man named Wesley, and during my 3rd week, I noticed he always sat next to the same woman, a wealthy widow named Diane, whose husband had left her millions. He walked her to her car after every session. He held her hand when she cried. My husband's warning kept echoing in my head, so I started asking questions. One woman told me Wesley had been married before. Another said twice. Then someone said 3 times. That night, I dug through public records and found the truth. Wesley had been married 4 times. Every wife had been a member of his grief group. Every wife had been wealthy. Every wife had died within 2 years of marrying him. I contacted a detective who specialized in cold cases and sent him everything. This is a pattern, I told him. He's killing these women. The detective agreed to investigate but said he needed time to build a case, time to exhume bodies and run tests. I went to the next session planning to watch and wait, but then Diane walked in glowing and held up her hand to show everyone a diamond ring. Wesley proposed, she said, and the whole room started clapping. We're getting married in 2 weeks. We didn't want to wait. My heart stopped. I called the detective that night and told him we were out of time. 2 weeks, I said. She's going to be dead in 2 weeks if we don't stop this. He told me to trust him and keep attending the group like nothing was wrong. The next session was unbearable. Wesley talked about how love can bloom from loss, how Diane had taught him to open his heart again, and she sat there smiling at him like he was her savior. I wanted to grab her by the shoulders and scream at her to run. After the meeting, I called the detective again. Can I just warn her? I asked. Can I just tell her what I found? He said if I did that, Wesley would disappear and we would never prove anything. The exhumation is approved, he said. 5 more days for results. The wedding was in 9 days. I did the math over and over and it never worked. I started drafting anonymous letters to Diane that I never sent. I typed out everything I knew and then deleted it. I drove past her house at night just to make sure the lights were still on. I sat through another session where Wesley called Diane the love of his life, and I had to smile and clap with everyone else while counting down the days in my head. 7 days until the wedding, then 6, then 5. I stopped sleeping. I kept my phone on my pillow waiting for the detective to call. Every morning I checked the news expecting to see her name. Every session I watched Wesley's hands and wondered which meal would be the one. 4 days before the wedding, my phone finally rang at 6 in the morning. We got the results, the detective said, and I could hear something different in his voice. Arsenic, enough to kill 3 people. We're making the arrest tomorrow. The next session was supposed to be Wesley's last before the wedding. I sat in my usual seat and watched him hold Diane's hand, completely calm, completely confident that he had gotten away with it again. Halfway through, 2 detectives walked in with their badges out. Wesley Hartman, you're under arrest for the murder of Christine Hartman. The room went silent. Wesley's face went white. This is insane, he said, turning to Diane. Tell them this is insane. You know me. She just stared at him with her mouth open, the engagement ring catching the light as she slowly pulled her hand away from his. They pulled his arms behind his back, and right before they walked him out the door, he looked directly at me. I watched his expression change the moment he realized I was the one who did this. A week later, the detective asked me to come to the station to look through files recovered from Wesley's storage unit. 15 years of records on every group member. I was flipping through a box when I found a folder with my husband's name on it. Inside was a photo of him sitting in the same circle I had been sitting in, dated 8 years ago. He had joined the group when his mother died. There were handwritten notes clipped to the back, asking too many questions, suspicious of repeat marriages, potential problem. The last note was dated 2 weeks before my husband died of a sudden heart attack. Wesley didn't just kill his wives.